What's going on, guys? Mike, aka Crypto Jewels. I'm going to do a Trias update. It's been a couple days, about a week since I've done any Trias video updates, so let's do one here real quick. Some of you guys probably aren't going to enjoy this one if you are Trias holders and have been holding underwater. And if you guys are looking to enter Trias, you might like this one to find possible areas of interest and possible areas to enter a trade. So guys, for those of you who don't know, I am uber bullish on having a risk management strategy in place for anybody in this market. I don't care if you're a trader or if you're an investor, does not matter. You always have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, in my opinion, you're just gambling. It's really that simple. I've developed a free risk management guide for everybody. I've got a link below this video. If you have interest in checking that out, go ahead and sign up for it. Download the link. Get your free risk management guide and get a strategy, get a risk management plan, put it in place, implement it. I highly suggest you do that. That way you guys don't end up bag holding a worthless asset. So ultimately, we're all here to make money, and ultimately, the most important way to do that is by having a risk management plan. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's hop into the Trias chart. All right, so for those of you guys who follow me on Twitter, you guys have probably seen a couple of my recent updates. But again, I have got two ways I'm looking at this structure now. The first way is really starting to lose any kind of hope, which is that this is an impulse one, and then this is a corrective structure, and then we would have a 3, 4, 5 still left to come, which would take us to my original targets that I had talked about earlier of 250-ish. So that thesis and that idea is really starting to lose credibility. Typically on a two-wave retracement, I do not like to see the 786, which is this level right here at 123. I don't like to see that break. That is, usually I like to see a 618 retracement down to here, but I do not like to see a break of 786 support. When I see that on a two-wave, it automatically raises a red flag to me, and I start to look at different potential scenarios in play and other things that might be going on. So as you can see, zoomed in, we have lost that support. This is the daily, so we have been trading down below it. So that automatically, like I said, raises a red flag that this thing is not in a macro impulsive structure in a bullish direction. So for those of you guys who don't know Elliott wave theory, just to get into this real quick, I'm not going to take a lot of time in this, but in Elliott wave theory, you have two structures. You have a motive wave, impulse wave, which moves in a 5-wave structure. As you can see here, this green 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you have a corrective structure, which moves in 3-wave structures, like this ABC here. Typically, these are connected to each other. So you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have an ABC. And this would be in a larger degree trend. This would be a 1-wave. This would be a 2-wave, a 3, 4, 5. So forth and so on, like this. So this entire structure would be a 1, this ABC would be a 2, and you would have your 3, 4, 5 like that. So no different than this 1-wave here, and then this structure here would be an ABC. This would be an impulse. This whole 3-wave would be an impulse. This would be an ABC for your 4. Then your 5-wave would be a 5-structure impulse as well. Then it fractally repeats within itself from the smallest time frame all the way up to the highest time frame. So with that being said, initially I was thinking that this was a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what it's looking like it's probably going to end up being, as long as, Bitcoin can finally find a bottom here, I would likely end up calling this more an A, B, C, which is just a large corrective structure, meaning that our C wave at some point, once this thing bottoms, which I've got it bottoming right now, anywhere from 75 cents to a buck, and I'll hop into that micro here in a minute. But basically, once this thing does bottom, I will expect some sort of a C wave up. I would imagine that C wave to, go anywhere from, I would think it would go 16 to 20 bucks would be my guess, but we'll really have to wait for it to unfold, wait for it to bottom, and then we'll be able to get a more accurate projection as to where price is going once it finally decides to reverse. So, there we go. So what I mean by that as an entire structure, so this is obviously a corrective structure in a bearish trend, in a bullish trend, meaning that this correction is moving against the trend, which the trend would be up. So if I'm right, basically this thing is flipped on its side, where you have a structure that ultimately is going to look like this, where you have the A, B, and C. So to finish that entire structure, we would just need one more C wave up. So hopping into the weeds. It looks to me like we have got a three-wave, a complete three-wave structure down. My mouse is having major issues here with this one. Here, I'll get rid of this fib line here to make this easier. I'll throw the wave on it just so you guys can see it. If my mouse would behave. So I see this as a 1, 2, 3, and then this was a 4-wave. And then we are building an impulse again down to finish our 5th wave here. Let me remove this wave off of there again. And zoom in a little bit more. So when we bottomed here, I had talked about this 4-wave resistance needing to be broken in order for us to even consider the bottom end. It never was broken. It never even really came close to breaking it. We had wicked inside of it a few times, but we never, ever really got close to breaking it. So at this point, I am looking at us starting our next 5-wave impulse down to finish what I would imagine will be our last leg down before we start to have a solid relief rally. That last leg, I have got us, possibly bottoming around $1, depending on what Bitcoin does. Obviously, that will really dictate how deep this final wave goes, but I do see a potential of it going all the way down to 75 cents. So really, on a micro time frame or a lower time frame, I would assume that this thing will go from 75 down 75 cents to about a buck. I would imagine a buck is almost written in stone at this point. I hate to say that on trading, because you never, ever, ever want to speak in definitive, terminology when trading. But the way this thing's looking, it just looks like it's screaming for, under $1 and potentially 75 cents. So that's my update on Trias, guys. Hopefully I had better news for you Trias holders that are underwater right now, but that's the way I see it. And I will do another update here within the next couple of days after some price action develops a little more. See y'all later.